Hi, Coach. Couple of practices this week. They've been good. You happy with them?
Yes, the guys, they've been really good all year. But this week, obviously the attention to detail's high. The guys know what's ahead. They're excited about what's ahead. So they've been crisp, purposeful, and with a lot of energy.
It's almost like training camp. There's a whole lot of bodies out there.
It's not that. On the D-Corps, it's a bigger crew right now because there's 10 of them. But up front, I think we only have 13 healthy or so. So there's not too many extras.
Yeah, an update on the injuries.
Who are you wondering about?
Okay, well, the usual ones are out, like
Byro's out. Savage out. Warren is day to day. He's got a chance. He'll have a chance potentially to be in this weekend. Cedarquist is likely out still. Yeah, that's it.
Guys don't rise to the moment, kind of, they stay the same. I'm curious what you kind of can gather in games like this about some of these young teenagers that are playing in big moments. And maybe they're not always going to stay the same, but what they can learn from this and what this experience does.
It's really immeasurable to go through these tough playoff series against really good opponents that are physically demanding to play against. And I think that Quinn, Krebs, Paterka, guys like that really learned a lot going through it last year. There's failures and there's success that comes with it. For this year, like Rosine really struggled in games 1 and 2. First pro playoff games, North American playoff games, as much as you talk about the level of physicality, intensity, competitiveness is going to rise. Sometimes until you live it, it's hard to know. And which was great is that, he got to have that punch in the face, so to speak. And then looked inside himself and we had a meeting with him that last week, and then he was excellent this past weekend. So that's so much growth right there just in a short period of time. And Kozak is playing massive minutes for us and penalty killing and out there 5-on-6 defending leads and in playoffs. And then Kulik, I think Kulik did a really good job learning without playing. And I give him credit for it. He's young. And a lot of times that's hard to do. And, we asked him to watch the Toronto-Tampa Bay series and see the competitiveness and intensity of that. And then we asked him to not just be a spectator in games 1 and 2, but watch and feel the intensity of the series. And I think that readied him for his own playoff debut in North America this past weekend.
I mean, his talent's been pretty obvious all year. For him to fight through the injury and then be back in the lineup, I mean, what does that show you about him? Just that that's going to be a big test, right? He's letting your body hold up for a good season, and then nobody feels good this time. So what have you learned about him for that process?
Yeah, it shows a lot. It shows what he's made of inside. That he didn't want to let his teammates down. It tore him up to not be available for games 1 and 2. And we talked to him about what he learned. We talked to him about that in a playoff game, you can't go in coming off an injury and tiptoe into the game. The playoffs are no time to put your toes in the water and test the temperature before diving in. You got to dive in. And that's easier said than done when you're as young as they are. And I thought that Cooley attacked game 1. He didn't tiptoe into game 1. Game 3, game 1 for him, which was great to see. But even Cedarquist, right? He's injured. On the hit that injured him, he demanded that he was back in the game, even though he's playing hurt. Obviously, he's hurt enough where he can't be in now. And I think that just says a lot about what some of our youngsters are made of, what our veterans make the room feel like, that this is a team, this is a family, this is a group of guys that care a lot about each other, and those young guys don't want to let their teammates down.
In particular, the impact he has coming back in, not just what he brings on the ice, but how rare is that for a kid that age to impact the rest of his team the way that he does?
Well, it's extremely rare, right? He's got second most goals in the history of the league as an 18-year-old. So just to be playing in this league is extremely rare and difficult to do. And then to be our leading goal scorer and to be an impact player. The stage is not too big for him. The playoffs, the huge crowds, the pressure, I think you saw that at the World Juniors, that those moments don't intimidate him from a mental standpoint. And I think that's a huge thing, is wanting. All the best players love it when the lights are the brightest, and they want those moments, and he wants those in spades.